like I said, the other part of this is that people are always getting together. And often they're getting together in ways that those of us in the buffer zone are paid to disrupt. Young people get together all the time in graffiti gangs and musical groups and just all kinds of things, ways that young people, and it's mostly adults who step in and disrupt that and say, get back in class and shut up and sit down. People in the communities are often organizing, but social service agencies treat them individually and as individual families, and those families or individuals who are disruptive get cut out of services, so they're punished in various ways. So we need to also think about not only how do we facilitate people getting together, but how do we recognize ways that people are getting together all the time that don't look like what we want or expect, and we end up being agents of disruption for that. Because we have a particular model of the way people should get together. And those of us who've done political activity over the years have certain pictures of how it should look, all right? How the meetings should look, and who should be there, and how we should communicate that. And what the needs are, and what the issue is that people should get together around. So the last thing I want to say before we break for lunch is that, again, and back to the pyramid, how do we know what the common interests are of people in the community? How do we know what their needs are around transportation and childcare and other things? How do we know what their concerns are?
Getting the information to other agencies.
What?
Getting the information to other agencies.
Well, do you think that would work very well? Because what agencies have a particular way of understanding people in the community through their problems.
Ask them.
My goodness. The only way to really know what people's needs are and what they might want to get together around and what would prevent them from getting together around or what they are already getting around is to go out in the community and ask people. Not the ones who come to our doors. They've already pre-screened themselves out. They're either so desperate that they cut through the barriers of getting to our services or only need something that's very specific. So what does it look like to go out in the community and actually talk to people about what they need? What would it be to stand on the street corner and talk to people coming down the street and ask them, what's going on? What kinds of things are you facing? Or to have a neighborhood meeting in a block by block. What are the issues of violence in this community? What are the issues of economic that you face? What kinds of things are going on in your life? Without pre-deciding that violence or poverty or housing or without coming with an agenda, but starting with people's daily lives and trying to understand how they understand their lives and what they're experiencing. A couple of thoughts about that.
There's a challenge with that if you are in the buffer zone, because I know when I do that here at the college, I'm seen as a professor.
Mm-hmm.
And so sharing information with me has a price, perceived by others.
Mm-hmm.
And so things are filtered in or out based on that. So it's challenging to try to do that.
Right. So that means that we have to not do it as professionals in some ways. So we have to be able to step out of our official roles, because when they step into our agencies, or even when we step out there in our agency roles, we're triggering all their history of experiences with people like us with a lot of power over their lives. And that's not the best way for people to relax and talk about what's really going on in their lives. Yeah.
You gotta be prepared to be humble.
Right. It's very humbling to go out and talk to people and listen to what they're experiencing.
Your preconceived notions, you've not only got the notion of what is happening, you've got the answer to what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
You find out that they are just not even anywhere close to where you're thinking about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But I want to leave you with basically just to really think about this relationship between getting together and getting ahead. And going back to the tree of violence and the difference between just pruning the branches or doing the root work to uproot the tree. And at the same time, getting together, it means how do we do that ourselves? How do we facilitate other people doing it? But it's part of how do we shift our focus from what we're against to what we're building? How do we build community out of that so that we have the resources among us to actually address the issues that are here that need to be addressed?